Of course I did. All right. G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to Dave Talk Stuff. Tabletop News. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood Arcade, Power Games, Into the Elsbound, and The Erotic Tales from the Empire. Thank you to all the patrons who have joined my Patreon growing community. I invite you to join them through the links in the link tree. Thank you to all those who have joined, and thank you to all those who support the channel. Now to the tabletop news. Hold on a sec. Here we go. Oh, what happened? Try again. There we go. We start, of course, with my favourite site, the Bundle of Holding. Get an entire bundle of role-playing equipment, role-playing games, primarily independent, but there's a lot of mainstream stuff that occasionally pops up. But yeah, it is mainly independent. I'll give you that. But still, better than the gobbledygook, ever-changing politics of the mainstream, who are only interested in squeezing every last cent out of you and then reselling you a reskinned version the following year with totally different politics. Every year, they want you to buy new D&D. It's like, what? We only just got the new handbook and they're already wanting to redesign it. It's like, what is it? And of course, they bundled the anniversary editions. When are you going to learn? When are you going to learn that these big corporations are only interested in big incomes? They don't, and they just buy whatever is popular, milk it till it dry as a bone, then they just move on anyway. They are eventually going to sell D&D. It's not if, but when. They, of course, are shopping for replacements. Hasbro and others are all, not one particular company, but all the toy companies are in trouble. And it's not just because they're American or the tariffs. These are companies that have been in terminal decline for a decade because they're totally inefficient. They have too much management. Their management is too expensive. Their products come out too often. They flood their own market, and then they can't market the stuff fast enough, and they rely on old, outdated business models to market. So they are stuck within a huge array of expensive and inefficient businesses, and they have to just in time everything. So they're trying to predict the market, earn six-figure salaries, and dump huge stockpiles on people who don't have the time to play 20 modules a year or whatever it is now they release. They're releasing too much. And I don't get it. They don't appeal to the modern audience, so they try to change the game to the politics of the modern audience instead of trying to keep their existing fans. Because the thing that you probably understand about the modern audience, they don't buy anything. You notice? They're so into minimalism and virtue signaling and activism. They don't play, they don't buy, they don't support. You notice how they're always fundraising, but they never got $1, have they? $1 a month, and they can't even cough up that. They're so skinflint. I know that face looks familiar. I just can't put my face to a name. But I think enough ranting. I think we all know the state of the role-playing community. Yet it is not so unhealthy that it isn't attracting new members. It's just that, yes, many are attracted to the big mainstream, and then they're put off by the mainstream. So it's hard to break through that mindset that big is successful. Remember, most of these big companies are only successful because they got the gift of the gab to talk big investors to put money in the first place. But they didn't grow big on role playing. They grew big on toys, and they wanted to turn role playing into a toy market. If anybody remembers the 90s with figurines, the comics, and I suppose when things were like cheaper, it did seem just a few bucks. But yeah, digital people expect. And I mean, even some digital stuff is too much. So this is why I like the bundle holding. It gives you a bundle at a massive discount. And there's a lot of material here. And yeah, a lot of these are professionally made. Now, the new Defiant bundle is from Game Machinery Tabletop Role-Playing of Supernatural Aristocrats in modern-day holdings. It's an urban fantasy of mighty supernaturals who, instead of trying to destroy the world, are trying to protect it. Everything you need. Politics, the Demons of Hell, one price, $14.95. Gets you the Defiant RPG, the role-playing game of fallen angels, demons, gods, and dragons as a modern aristocrat. Sounds actually very fascinating. And they have campaign supplements laying out the basic introductions for a free quick start and 5 campaign supplements. Next, we have a role-playing supplements for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition from MT Black Games. The Anatomy of Adventures 2nd edition, Emporium of Wonders, and players and city sourcebook, and a group of adventures. One bundle, one price, $12.95. These are freelance designers with many bestsellers, including Baldur's Gate, Tome of Marvelous Magic, Blue Alley, and has actually sold over 100,000 titles. $12.95 gets you all titles, DRM3, Anatomy of Second Adventures, The Secrets of Design, Black takes you through his creative processes. The Emporium Wonders is a majestic, imposing limestone edifice with courtyard crowded with shops and malls, offering rare and valuable items. Looking to buy or sell magic in the city, 400 imaginative and useful magic items. The Player's Handbook and City Sourcebook, a complete rulebook and guide to the City of Shining Spires. Merchants and masters, coin is king, thieves and assassins rule the night, gods and priests walk side by side, even the unspeakable wealth peers down on crushing poverty where guilds and great houses spar for political supremacy, while fiendish hordes muster over the horizon. Iskander is all that's wondrous, noble, laudable, and wanton and vile, all in one. The handbook is a standalone rulebook presenting subclasses and optional rules, and there are no elves. Blasphemy, I tell you, blasphemy. Anyway, you have the City Sourcebook expanding on the law and the Explorer's Journal. And then a series of adventures to get you going. First to fourth level characters, but easily portable to various other fantasy settings or as a standalone setting. Feng Shui 2nd edition from April 2018, an action movie tabletop role-playing game from Atlas. The starter collection, 1795, is a gun bag full of rulebooks, sourcebooks, and adventures from 2015 Hong Kong action movies. An RPG, Feng Shui from Atlas Games, 2nd edition, hits you with ancient sorcerers, transformed animals, control freak Shaolin monks, and cyborg apes. Armed with the secrets of Feng Shui, they aim to conquer the past, present, and future, and only you, with your guns, guts, and flying feet, can stop them. However, starters offer gets you 4 titles from 2018's original 2nd edition starter collection. Level up, pay the threshold price $26.06, and you get the bonus collection of 8 more titles. DRM3, $96. In the starter collections, you get Feng Shui 2, the kick butt, blow things up, save the world action RPG. Next, we have the full-length introductory scenario and quick start rules. Then, of course, updated rules for D20 Adventure and Feng Shui 2 and Pathfinder. So it's updated D20 Adventure for both Feng Shui and Pathfinder. And Glimpse of the Abyss, enemies and allies from the underworlds and beyond. However, level up, which I recommend you do, and you get Secrets of the Chi War, new battlegrounds, new pop-up conjunctions, and then 5 faction books from the original, still part of the official canon for the Chi War, which is the central theme of Feng Shui, and Fistful of fight scenes, more fight sites from slum rooftops to cruise liners, well, basically where think Hong Kong action movies and set pieces. And of course, blowing up the movies, 24 action movies explode. This is the inner workings of each film and story. Speaking of Fistful of Dollars more, Feng Shui Ammo Pack. Get recent new adventures for the action RPG Feng Shui to go along with the Feng Shui 2 bundle. The rules aren't included in the Ammo Pack. You do need this pack, but the Ammo Pack gives you 9 titles, retail value $92 for DRM3, including 3 new adventures. Again, all D&D. One low price, $17.95, gets you the collection. Not as low as some, but lower than many. Now, these are Feng Shui 2 adventures, 8 World on Fire, Burning Dragon, and we temporarily have Paris. Again, this is time hopping, action set pieces, fighting in the Netherworld, the temporary city in Mongolia, and of course Paris, occupied in the 1940s. For Bastards, another introductory scenario for the original first edition, another fight through time, a fast action-paced scenario for Feng Shui 1, and the 5 Feng Shui supplements. See it in the flesh. No freedom except to choose brands. See the flesh gives you a good fight in 2056. With the Resistance, blowing up Hong Kong. Whether you're a sorcerer, local cop, or refugee from the future, or invader from the past, Hong Kong is where it's at. Uncover the city's secrets. If you can't find action and adventure in Hong Kong, you are properly dead. Fiends of the Dragon, a player's adventure guides to basically come together, develop your common bond, create forge a group to take on a campaign of a group. Yeah, not. It's a bit poorly worded. Sorry. Action movie characters so compelling they become prime characters of every adventure. The group shtick, what personal ties and what assembles you. Now the Golden Comeback, new abilities, and in your face again, Fists of Justice in the Time Stream. It's another collection of short action adventures. All one price. Green Ronin, the D20 tabletop role-playing game from Green Ronin. Third era, advanced and expanded rules and source books, race codex, and a bonus collection. The Green Ronin Third Era bundles presents the D20 tabletop fantasy role-playing rulebook, supplements, and source books from Green Ronin Publishing from 2000 to 2008. They used open license game in the D20 license trademark to publish source book settings, adventures for D&D 3rd edition and its 3.5 revision. However, once 4th edition came out and that trademark license went away, these top quality source books were amongst the best in the D20 boom era, and 4th edition helped kill that. But you can still play, and many people do play 3rd edition, and just for $14.95, you get 11 titles in the starter pack, all DRM free. And if you choose to do so, which I recommend, to level up 2573, you get an entire bonus collection with 17 more source books worth $206. It's an amazing bundle, truly worth its value. Just in the advanced rule books, player's manual, game master's guide, and bestiary. Templates, challenge modifiers ranging from 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse to various bizarre oozes and stone idols. Create an endless variety of new creatures just on that alone. And of course the race source books, the drow, the dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-elves, halflings, half-orcs, and humans, which I recommend you level up and get the Book of Fiends, your vile darkness. The Masterclass Handbooks. Exactly what it says. Master Classes. Retail of $100, 994 pages, each source book. Is a class. And masters at that. For master players. Now, Mystic Vistas, source books of major personalities, prestige classes, and period details. You have 70s, Rome, medieval, skull and bones, the Hittites of the, some say the Babylonian era, some say the Bible era or the Bronze Age. Depends on your historical perspective. And of course, the Trojan War, which, by the way, has been proven to be a real event. They have found the cities of Trojan and others and actually mapped out the Trojan War recently. I forget who it was, but yeah, several times Troy has actually been found and dismissed as Troy, but I think they finally found proof. Troy was a fortress city on a hill, and actually they'd actually spent probably decades, probably generations actually, altering the landscape. And they were a Greek colony that broke off and then the Greek kings, when the tribute stopped flowing, they believed they had, without the tributes, so they created a religious crusade and actually Helen of Troy, the stories do vary, but Helen was a tribute. Basically, you marry my daughter and you pay, and we give you protection and trade, and in return you probably, send so much money, but eventually money stopped coming, and the city-states led by Troy rebelled against the Greeks. You got to remember that 100 ships was probably, epic. And it's got to consider it's about 30 men a ship. So they probably came and went over many times over. But when they finally defeated Troy, it was a wooden fortress, but it did have earth and stoneworks, and they did their best to pretty much dismantle, and they literally buried it after they burnt it. It's a liberal establishment, by the way. Sorry, get off the beaten track, but yeah, these are the people who established liberalism. If people didn't understand that, cancel culture and all that stuff is not new. I think got way too far off the track here, but historical eras give great fantasy settings. But if you get the politics aside, there are some fantastic stories of betrayal and ego just in the Trojan Wars. The Sigil Stone OCR. From January 2022, a modern tabletop role-playing rules in old school style OSR, old school rules. We have an entire collection, $14.95, 5 torches. Edition role-playing game, streamlined adventure game, the best mechanics and principles from D&D 5th edition, combining old school revival and modern design, a gritty, resource-focused roguelike experience. 5 Torches Deep, a adventure in mythological mountain range. The hazards of mountaineering, bizarre clay folk constructs, rock goats, and ghost armies that rule the night. 5 supplements for origins, jewels, homesteads, stealth, infiltration, covert actions, heist, assassinations, the vault. Vagabonds of the Dreyfed, an old school unholy union in the Apocalypse engine. 2 Vagabond supplements. New rules, new tables, and a 3-sided contest between Abandonment of Dwarves, between giants, undead dwarves, and the cabal of cannibal druids who hate wizards. And City on the Sea of Glass. Plunder the dead metropolis on the Sea of Glass. A destroyed city ruled by demonically powered god kings. As I said, I have a Patreon where I create a homebrew science fantasy setting for D6 tabletop role-playing, growing community, featured products being battle maps. Now, everybody's considering everybody's been there. You know, the Drive-Through RPG, the largest role-playing download store, is actually linked to Bundle of Holding. Most of the bundles you buy are linked to your account. So if there's any updates or special offers, they'll appear in your Drive-Through RPG library. Content Conversion Guide, Pathfinder 5th edition, and more, all including D23rd and even the original AD&D 2nd edition. If you ever wanted to take adventure content of one system to another, this book helps you convert any content from any supported rule system into other rule systems. Dungeon Crawl Classics, 3X, AD&D. So instead of having to wing it, and what's old is new again, you know, take all the old material, dust it off, and go, ooh, what do I, well, it's got all the tables, Ravenloft, Forgotten Realms, Spelljammer, all updatable to 5th edition, or bring it all into your favorite 3rd edition. It's all there for you. Of course, the links to this are in the description. This is a hot-selling title right now, silver bestseller. And this one's reached copper. Lewd Dungeon Adventures. Who said that adult content is dead? And adult role-playing? Oh my God. Somebody's actually done it and been successful at it. It's rare, but it's true. There are everything you need to seduce the night. In a escort mission, 8 days of travel, guarding somebody, and what's your reward? Virtual sex. Every nerd's wet dream. Virtual sex. Lewd Dungeon Adventures. A role-playing game for couples. Give you a challenge, a mental challenge, something beyond the television. That's That's right. You can actually turn that thing off. I know, right? Sounds radical. Whoops. All right. All the links are in the description below. Really appreciate on Rumble and YouTube. Sorry, X. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and please support. All my links are in the link in the description below in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen to bring up my link tree. See you all in the next video over at my RPG Patreon right now. Growing community. Please and thank you. See you all in the next video. Bye for now.